Oh, that's fun. Ew, why is there water underneath the elevator?
Oh, because sci-fi future, you know. So, yeah, I guess to kind of contextualize, because we haven't really done that, we kind of just started in prior videos. I was hoping to kind of play and show a little bit of this game that I'm thinking about in terms of my research right now, called Selaco. Um, Game came out in the last couple of years. It's actually, as you can see, technically it's still in early access.
Mm.
Um, and, particularly, I mean, Alex, you know this, but just to help kind of archive it in the video, right now I'm doing a little bit of looking at games that are using uh, engines, artifacts, and techniques from older console generations and older kind of technologies, even though that they're like modern titles. So the reason Selaco is interesting in this regard is it is a game built on GZ Doom, which is a community modified version of the original Doom engine. It's heavily, heavily, heavily modified.
Hmm.
But Carmack, once Doom was kind of tapered off in sales, he actually open sourced the engine under I think the GNU public license. So perpetual open source thing. You can just download Doom for free if you want to, and some community members have, and they've like or the engine. I should specify the engine. And they've kind of extended it over the years to do more and more stuff. So yeah, this is a game out of that. Obviously, it is a little more modern because I'm playing it with like a DualShock controller. And as you see, there will be a lot of stuff going on that would totally melt a 1990s PC, but is totally fine here. There's like a very funny series of different things they're doing that are like kind of in line. Like you'll see in a moment like some characters kind of coming out here. I'll just kind of resolve on one for a moment. There's just like gore warning, a corpse that you can see. All of the people in this world are still like rendered as sprites that are billboarded.
Mm-hmm. They're still alive and moving as you move.
Yeah, just kind of turning to face me eternally. But the rest is like, this kind of lighting stuff was not in the original Doom engine. This kind of polygonal density, the kind of like almost volumetric lighting, kind of you'll see as you look down halls. But I was thinking a little bit of like early Half-Life.
Oh sure, yeah, that's probably better.
Kind of playing this.
So there's no economic like keeping tabs for what people are making with this engine now. Like there's no royalties.
No. It's a totally free to use engine. There's a couple of big players in it. I'm kind of early in the process of looking at that social network. But it is. Oh, sorry, about to kind of go into a story moment. It's very much like a community, mostly in forums. Mostly just like kind of either trading stuff on kind of the Doom GZ website and forums, or kind of just passing mods. I think this still uses the WAD file format, so also just like passing WADs back and forth with their experiments. It's like a very heavily affected, beautiful game. Grim, grotesque, certainly, but
I mean, if you're using the Doom engine, it's like expected.
Yeah, true.
Wow. Okay, I just saw that head bouncing around the ground.
Yeah, there's a lot.
That's good. That's colorful.
Okay, so this is again where I get into the part where I wish this game was like a little more designed in a couple of ways.
This is just like so much first-person shooter trauma is just getting lost.
Yeah.
And going back, trying
to remember where you were.
So we were talking about that painting game, the ink game
Yeah,
the White
the
Void.
Unfinished Swan.
I believe
Is
so.
that
Yeah.
it?
And there's something about tracing your steps and like marking your way with a gun and mark making in first-person shooters that like you just can't get away from. At least Doom is the first game I remember playing where it would leave this trail of bodies and gore, and that would sort of help you know where you'd been. But yeah, when we were talking about the Unfinished Swan game last fall, we were having this discussion, I think, or maybe before even.
Yeah. There is some amount of like that kind of wayfinding. This game picks up some motif from Doom and some it tries to extend in different ways. Like, for instance, as I'm sure you noticed, I was getting key cards that are colored, right? And that is how you unlock doors, and you backtrack to like older areas and use key cards to like get further. You can see you have a mini map that's like, frankly, not great. It's like kind of hard to use. Or sorry, not mini map, like a
Full screen map.
yeah, full screen map. And then some other stuff it does that I'm getting used to is like this kind of more traditional menu kind of chat log, finding logs with like, here I have a door code, right? That thankfully it highlights just so that in case I want to kind of rush through this, I can. There's a funny balance of like modern games. Yeah, big health packs, normal Doom stuff.
Is that cash on the ground?
It's armor. So
Oh,
again, there's like some
it's very Doomy.
old school Doom stuff.
Oh, also, there's vertical aiming, unlike the original Doom.
Oh yes, yeah. True. There's also no portrait of my character looking back and forth menacingly.
Hey, they're missing that part.
Yeah.
Although it is a really strange, like, as an early FPS, it was, who was stopping them from also seeing your character? It wasn't just first person, it was also second person shooter,
True. Yeah.
There are moments where the pickups feel very tied to knowledge of the original Doom game, to be like, oh, I know what that is. It's like just a weird thing in the middle of the room. But then there's a lack of like glowing, outliney highlighting with most objects, and I actually appreciate that. I mean, it feels, they're trying to be a little more simmy, like, in terms of like, oh, you could eat the hamburger, or you could eat that thing that looks less signposted as an interactive. Although, was there a ammo HUD element floating above that just then?
There's a little bit of a shimmer to like,
okay, some things, but not everything.
The big items, but there's like soda cans and burgers around. There's like some small stuff that's like less. I'll be frank, it's kind of a weird design language in that like some stuff is very seated in the diegesis, some is more called out, kind of arcade style. Yeah, there's some really like fun scare quotes, like artistic solutions to kind of the low res nature of this game. And like when they choose to break the kind of blocky geometry, so like the world is very much in the kind of Doom style, like very flat, it's all texture detail kind of situation, where the chairs weirdly kind of get into a voxel-esque kind of look because they have like angles.
I mean, are the chairs like alpha'd sprites?
Because
modeling it that way wouldn't really save you resolution.
I almost feel like it's just them trying to solve for like we kind of want some things to be 3D, but we want to keep the kind of spirit of a sprite, because
I just want to see wireframe.
I mean, I assume it's high or poly, just because like you can kind of see there's like really small, like each pixel is kind of its own voxel element.
I'm into it. It's disorienting because you can see it from every angle. It's not a facing billboard, but oh man.
But it's also, I mean, that I think it's just like
I think they modeled it.
Yeah.
What's the download size of this game?
Not bad. Which I mean, to be fair, like even
meshes aren't that heavy. Oh man, if they modeled in the stair stepping in that based on some texture, like aligned with the texture, it's so funny. That chair is such a funny joke to me. I want to show Rush that. Yeah.
Okay. Watch the lid. It's flat, and then when I open it, it becomes very stepped.
Yeah, so I think they're switching out the model.
Yeah.
That's how I would do it.
Yeah.
But that's hilarious to me. It's a lot of extra work just to like
It is.
keep that feel in 3D in the round. Like,
But you can also see mirrors, full mirrors. But I'm a sprite,
there's
so
some cool problem solving there.
it is like a rendered room, I think, for that to work this way. But I don't know. Oh yeah, the toilets are very high poly.
Okay. Nice.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a funny game. But yeah, I guess so. Some of my curiosity is like, why this engine, right? Why? What concessions have we made that are more or less impossible to be like technically authentic or accurate, but still kind of feel within the communicative vibe of the game? Why not like use a modern engine to make a Doom-like game? What is the kind of purpose of making something in this engine do for it? Is it more, authentically a Doom game? Like, it does feel very much like a Doom game in some ways, in other ways not. But I also have a different relationship to what a Doom game is than the creators did. So
That's important. That's important to recognize.
yeah, I mean, there's some other games in this kind of group too that I'm thinking about, like games made with Source that came out recently. There was also Skin Deep, which I think was like the Quake engine. So there's people using older engines to make these games and then release them commercially, which is kind of its own interesting gesture, particularly when they're like more, I don't necessarily want to characterize those, but like professional-ish game studios doing this versus this is very much like a part of the kind of retro Doom community group coming out and putting out a game.
And so like things like Trench Broom, for example, are sort of meant to. That's for Source, right? Source games.
That's for Quake. Hammer's for Source.
Oh, thank you. Okay, but those are still newer tools. Those didn't exist for the original developers.
So
or maybe they did.
Hammer did because it's an internal Valve thing.
Oh right. Yeah.
But yeah, Trench Broom did not.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, I would say there is something about Trench Room that feels more kind of siloed to, like, this kind of output, this kind of engine. Whoa! Oh, did you die?
Yeah. Whoops. Yeah, I accidentally walked into a grenade. So it
I
goes.
saw like a red circle, and I was like, he knows what he's doing. Yeah, no, I'm interested in the work that they're putting into maintaining a look of low fidelity pixelization, whatever, that they're doing in the topology of their models, at least from what I can tell. And like that is not done in anything but Maya or Blender or, God forbid, Substance Painter in this case. You know what I mean? Like that is extremely hands-on, unless they've made some kind of script or pipeline to take a model and kind of do the stair-steppy aliasing effect or something, which like maybe they did and that's cool too, but it's like such a non-trivial choice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see what that is, I guess. Carry on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know I don't know what's going on.
It could be a ghost. There's such high effort to keep the look for those 3D models, but then all of the characters are still like flat textures, and the kind of that difference of like impossibly high poly versus like very aesthetically, experientially constrained.
Yeah.
Because like you would think you'd spend the high poly on the characters, but there is something about a Doom game that makes me feel like, oh no, they have to be 2D sprites.
Yeah.
That are just also, like kind of billboarding.
Yeah. The way you described something like Doom is kind of like painting also. Like leaving those behind as these like two-dimensional things is interesting.
Yeah.
As brutal as it is. We have students doing an Unreal project that they want to do the, kind of like PSX, pixelated texture, low poly for this Unreal horror game. It's like, yeah, okay. Like, I think they're going to do a good job knowing the team it is. You know, that's just the reality. But
Yeah.
it is so like hot right now. I wonder what the longevity is going to be, and I wonder how like Gen Z is also going to redefine it. They have very different relationships to the source material of playing Doom in what 1995, 1996. You know, in the moment that like the tools we're teaching them Maya, we're teaching them ZBrush, we're teaching them Substance Painter, and we're also in class giving them plugins for Substance Painter to then pixelate their PBR, you know, metalness, ambient occlusion, roughness, normal maps. You know, like in a tool like Substance Painter, it's wild the links we're going to recreate this. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all. Like, I think photorealism and like all the kind of mimesis PBR stuff that Unreal pushes out of the box, I'm not sold by, as you know, no secret. But yeah, I just wonder like what is going forward look like for making games if we're doing so much to kind of like make games look low resolution. You know, we're doing so much kind of effort to do that and contorting our tools that really are meant for this other kind of high-res, mimetic, you know, intention.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a great question. I also think like it's some of the consequence of, you know, we're like pretty good at photo, you know, quote unquote photorealistic graphics. Obviously not perfect, but you know, I think we're just finding a lot of workflows with like experimental, referential, repurposed aesthetics that are easier to work with, or you know, have a certain vibe to them that we've decided is desirable because it was something we did at some point and have since moved on from. People are just playing a lot of games that aren't very polished now. Like, that's just a more popular thing. So consequently, I think the aesthetics have followed, I mean, at least kind of our interest in, wow, that would have made that whole fight a lot easier. Let me see if I can get out of this room with the music. Yeah, just like the kind of shift of like hyper polished, you know, single devs pushing towards AAA results.
Yeah.
To now, like, we've decided to actually, there's a lot of great games that can exist without doing that, and iteration is almost more interesting. Like, you can get to more interesting places if you just make games on a really quick loop. And thus, I think we just kind of figured out different aesthetics that work in that kind of workflow, and almost all of them are this older kind of hyper-optimized, low-poly, referential graphic, asset store kind of remix kind of thing. But, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the iterative, the fast, and also our tools are so much more powerful, and it's so much, we can work so much faster in getting something running, something, you know, getting the fun test out and like the kind of art tests out so much faster than ever before.
Yeah.
That like, I just hope there's room for like, yes, all art is referential, right? All art is like in conversation with the spectrum of everything that came before it, but yeah, I don't know. We're seeing new aesthetics in games for sure. Like I'm not.
Oh, totally.
Claiming that everything is just like, not everything's derivative. I'm not saying that, but sometimes when I see like a PSX game, it's like, okay, like another PSX game, and it's like Nightmare Kart, like the Bloodborne Mario Kart. Like I think that is such a cool project because it knows what it's doing in that. Like it says, first of all, I don't want to get sued by Sony. Oops, I got sued by Sony still. So that they're like pushing that. It's like there's a humor to it. There's a very self-conscious move there. Here it makes sense. Like again, there's like a community, there's a mechanic system, there's an aesthetic, there's a gameplay loop that's in reference. But I was on the Unreal Marketplace, it's called Fab now today, just like looking at things that I had in my library that maybe would be helpful for students to like, for me to like just take apart and understand, and just like looking at some of the like retro things that are out there now. There's just so much like things that say like dither, PSX. Like, there's just so many things that are these, like, just slap on the aesthetic of, like, I think there was something that would set up your whole Unreal project, except for your assets you were bringing in, to, like, do the vertex snapping, and it was all the post processors and some blueprints and some engine settings. That was like a plug and play, like, I'll say this. This is prescriptive. If you're putting vertex snapping on and you don't know why,
don't.
Because it's actually not fun to look at, in my opinion. But
yeah. No, I mean,
yeah.
it's a good point of, right, of like
ooh, cake.
We didn't necessarily. Yeah, I'm actually gonna eat some of
crash
that.
this birthday party.
Yeah. I mean, I doubt I'm the last one to or the first one to crash it, but yeah. No, I mean it's a good question, right? Is like before, when people would cop, particular high-res aesthetics or looks, I don't think we had the same criticality of someone being like, oh, why are you doing a big, foliage tree thing now? It's like, oh, because we've gotten very good at foliage. Versus now that people are throwing around vertex shaders, there's a ubiquity to that technique that doesn't have a clear kind of marketing push or marketing trend or cultural push, right, towards like photorealism. That maybe we were just more sensitive to people kind of flippantly evoking that. What is your differentiation between like aesthetics and styles?
Oh boy.
And or / do you have any? Because it's also fair if you don't. I'm not sure I do necessarily.
How do I differentiate those terms, styles and aesthetics?
Yeah.
I don't know what differentiating them does. I think taste is a different thing, and I think taste, I'll borrow a phrase from a favorite professor that's like, it's inexplicable. Like, there's kind of no critiquing it, because everyone is going to have their own thing based on what we're used to, what we grew up with, what we have experiences with. But I feel like style and aesthetics both feel like political to me. Like, even if you're not intending them to, like, they carry history, they carry ideology. What about you?
I ask because I'm not sure I have a good difference. However, I do think there is, like, both are used like very broadly and very flexibly.
It's contextually dependent.
Often interchangeably, right? But if I was trying to talk about, this has the aesthetics of Doom, it is trying to go for some kind of affective move for me to snap into that kind of part of my brain that is saying this is Doom, right? There's things that it's doing that maybe aren't all stylistically appropriate, again, to the voxel chair, where like it's making me think in terms of that particular affective quality of play versus, some stuff is in the style of Doom and some stuff is less in the style of Doom. So like, this game actually doesn't look a lot like Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really colorful, and it's mostly not brown and red. The music super different stylistically. However, that kind of guitar solo shooting guys in a corridor hallway while things are kind of exploding, like that aesthetically does have like a Doomish kind of thing going on about it. So I don't know, maybe aesthetics is when taste and style kind of like find a particular thing. But yeah, I don't know. That's the best I would have. Just because I'm trying to think of like, there's a lot of stuff that uses the style of PlayStation 1 games without actually feeling like a PlayStation 1 game. And there's a lot of stuff that doesn't stylistically look like a PS1 game, but feels a lot like a PS1 game. So how do you differentiate those two things?
I started teaching high school in like 2015, right? And maybe it was that semester, maybe it was a later semester, that I started hearing people who were younger than me, not that much younger, while the plate to the ceiling fan was a surprise. Used the word not aesthetically pleasing, not like the aesthetics of this, but just aesthetic on its own as a solo modifier. And it drove me bananas. And I said, what does that mean? When you say that's so aesthetic, I'm like, what are you referring to? And that word's changed in 10 years, I would say. And it's still like I have adopted its new usage, not so much in practice, but like I'm literate in it now. Yeah.
Curious as to how that became the dominant word versus just style, right? It's like not stylistically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like
I don't know.
stylish is like aesthetic.
Yeah.
So that's always kind of been dangling away from like an additional qualifier, or not always, but style in my lifetime has always like stylish and aesthetic feel like they've kind of unmoored to like needing reference. It's like they're good things or they're desirable or cool or refined.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is great.
Oh. Trying to remember how to do that, but I screwed up both, so it doesn't really matter. Great.
Whoa.
Okay.
Brutal.
Yeah. So
Thanks for leading us through that.
that's Selaco.
Cool.